going to make a couple of comments and then give a more thorough response in making a request of my colleagues. First of all, I want to say that at the last meeting, board members asked a number of questions, wanted to see changes. My full understanding was that staff was going to respond to those. They were going to come back and we were going to discuss them again. That did not happen. I can give you one clear example. I made a request for consideration of utilizing outside sources and making decisions that had rating systems, and I gave examples of that. What we got back without any information was a staff response adding 3 additional resources. They are not resources that give ratings. And one of them is an affiliate of the American Library Association, so you really can't technically count it. So I would say they came back with 2, but I don't know. I don't have any reason. I don't know why those particular resources were added, why there was no thought, or if there was thought, why it was ignored within their own decision-making process with respect to having resources that had rating systems. There were many other questions that were asked. And as I said, my understanding was, given the direction of the superintendent, that staff would look at all the input, they would come back. And instead what we got was that we got some revised documents came back via the consent agenda, which allows for no thorough discussion. And I think it's very seriously, and I know some of my colleagues don't like the language I use a lot of times, but it is explanatory. I think it's selective transparency. With respect to that survey, I don't think anybody should be too proud of it, because if you do just simple math, the responses versus the school sites, we had a response rate of 1.67 responses per school site. And I really don't see that that's a whole lot to get excited about. It brings up so many other issues in terms about our whole survey process and what we do to really elicit parent input. If you want input, there are ways to go about doing it to get that input. If you have a purpose for doing it other ways, then I suppose you get those results. As I was saying at the last regularly scheduled meeting, I think it's a shame that we put this kind of time in an issue that really didn't need to have the time put into it, while at the same time we make no time to do things such as discussing our dismal test scores. Again, we choose what we want to talk about. At no time in my 53-year educational career have I heard parents indicate their desire for or approval to co-parent their children with the government. However, that is exactly what the proposed policies and administrative regulations and protocols would do, while at the same time placing burdens on the parent. I do believe in the inclusion of books in our school libraries. that are free of pornographic pictures, obscene language, sexual exploitation, and methods for soliciting sex, while at the same time providing children information that expands their understanding of themselves and the world around them. Those two thoughts are compatible with each other, and there are many books that do provide the information. However, many people, including members of this board, have attempted to divert people's attention from the truth with claims that those that have spoken out against such books are somehow against the LGBTQ community and the recent legislation, and therefore should be ignored. This theme has and continues to be divisive. These claims are without merit and have nothing to do than being more than a diversion tactic. Information about the beliefs and lifestyles are expressed in literature without the crutch of pornographic illustrations and other obscene material to make their point. And those books are readily available. I do not accept that it's necessary to exploit our children in the name of free speech or hide behind the banner of censorship in order to promote one's social agenda. It is difficult for me to accept why this issue should be so divisive. We're talking about our kids. Unfortunately, it is just one more example of our polarized governance on this board and community. We are supposed to be here for the same reason, to provide all children with high quality instruction. We do not provide sexually graphic and obscene material in our classrooms, and for good reason. Why should those materials be included in the school library with or without supervision? In a few minutes, we will be voting. I ask my colleagues to please look closely at their beliefs and into their hearts and have the courage to vote no to the proposed policies, administrative regulations, and protocols. I am truly saddened that this issue is one that has taken 11 months to deal with, countless hours, driving wedges between communities when it could have been handled in a very simple manner.
That concludes your comments?
No. Just was deciding how I was going to say something, Nancy, since I apparently offend a lot of people on this board.
I wasn't trying to rush you.
I'm finished.